What is going on? Diamond Rice here, coming at you with another video. And today's video is my first video of 2017, and we're starting off with a bang with what's in my PC 2.0 2017 edition, whatever you like to call it. Now, when I originally did this build, did this video, I had the Diamond FX Revision 2.0, and this one was when I had I originally made this video when I had an FX 6300 processor and an R9 270 GPU. So it's been a lot of different changes since then when I made this video last year. So let's go see what I have changed since then, because obviously I had a lot of different performance issues with this particular PC, especially when the newer games. I was testing out the Division beta when this game, or when I realized that I needed better performance, especially when I was streaming while recording my games all at the same time. So a single PC I still wanted to do. I didn't want to go like two PC setup because I don't think it would be worth it for my time yet. So I decided to upgrade. I decided to scrap this entire build. I didn't scrap. Well, I scrapped mostly the entire, but I scrapped the motherboard. I scrapped the CPU. GPU was gone too, actually, because I got a free gift from my brother. But I'll get into that in a little bit later. But as we go on, so let's go on with the new parts. Let's go see what I have. Now, actually, these parts are actually not new. Now, some of these parts are actually were actually used parts from a site where I bought from Hardware Swap and also eBay. So I'll let you know which ones those were. So obviously, this is the new rig. Some of the upgraded pictures down here are not actually on here, but I'll show you later on which ones are those. So starting off with the CPU, I have the Intel Core i7 3770S. Now, this 3770S I bought on eBay used for $170 USD. So this was definitely the crux of my new build, because I wanted a new Intel, I wanted the new Intel i7 at least, or something of that sort. At the time when I was building this, I was looking at used parts because I know for sure I was not going to be able to get any of the new components at the price that I wanted it at. There's obviously a risk of buying used parts, but CPUs, I mean, they're very durable. They'll probably last longer than my motherboard, which I'll get into in a little moment. But what we have here is basically a quad-core chip, 3.1 gigahertz, turboed at 3.9. It's LGA 1155 sockets, so very good. 65 watts of power can be drawn from this, but I'm pretty sure I'm not drawing that much, because I actually undervolt this CPU, because even lower than what it's expected, maybe like 100 or so volts or something, millivolts or something. So it's not like substantial or anything, but it's definitely something where I can drop the temperature even lower than what I expected. But obviously 4 cores, 8 4 cores and hyper threading with it. So basically 8 threads, they called it, pretty much. Helps out in OBS, helps out in all my other games, even helps out in emulation when I'm playing my PS2 games on my emulator, PS1. Even Dolphin emulator probably works well as too. I haven't run Dolphin emulator in a while. So what else can I say about this? Just a very good CPU, has integrated graphics just in case that I need to, my graphics card goes out or anything like that. So it's good. Intel QuickSync still here too, especially if I need to do any video editing or recording. This I'm not running on QuickSync though. Right currently, I'm actually running it on the NVIDIA GPU using its NVNC encoder. So cooling this guy is my Sigmatech Gaia. Now, this guy I bought a long time ago when I first made my first PC. Actually, about 4 years ago now? Yeah, it was like 4 years ago right now, honestly. So, this CPU cooler is definitely something. Basically, it rivals the Hyper 212, like the very first generation of the Hyper 212. It beats it out. I actually added a better fan than what you see on the stock fan here. So, not exactly there's going to be apples to apples comparisons, but it's definitely something better now. If once you combine this with a lower voltage CPU like this one, and also put in the good old Arctic Silver 5 thermal paste, you have a very good CPU cooler that's going to be cooled for and for the CPU is going to be cooled for a long time. You're going to have it, I basically, at the higher end, temperature ranges, I've got maybe 60 degrees at most, and I'm probably even lower than that in some games. I think Gears of War 4 currently, when I was monitoring, I got about maybe 58 degrees, I think, at the highest. Not entirely sure because I haven't tested in a while, so it's gonna be interesting how the thing. So all that CPU is being powered in this motherboard or plugged into this motherboard. The Asus P8 H67M Pro motherboard, micro ATX does have USB 3, but is only on the back end, or it's only in the back part of the I/O shield. There is no front panel connector, so I was kind of salty about that, but honestly, for used motherboards, especially for the LGA 1155 being is basically phased out at this point right now. We have obviously Haswell, we have the Devil's Canyons Haswell. Now we have Skylake, and now we have a new KB Lake that just came out today. So it's gonna be interesting how I would find used motherboards nowadays, especially for the LGA 1155 sockets. If this motherboard goes out on me, I have no idea what I'm going to do for upgrades and such. But I did buy this used. The seller I bought it from said he had it in a build, in a customer's build. So it looks like it's been used. It looks like it's been all right. What can I say about this board? Has UEFI BIOS, has PCI lanes that I need. Even have the legacy PCI if I want to add anything into it. SATA ports. I only have two SATA 6 ports and 6 gigabit ports and 4 SATA 2. I think 1.5 speed. So, I mean, I'm actually occupying at least maybe 4 of those right now. So obviously the SSDs are probably going to be on the SATAs and the other things. So, not the best experience. Obviously, I want all SATA 3 revision pretty much, but can't really argue about that because it is a used motherboard. Can't always get all the things I want on it. I'm glad I did get USB 3 though, because honestly, I need to use it, for my external hard drives or backups. Maybe if I buy an external capture card eventually, and other things. So very useful, still very useful. Obviously, USB Type-C is now the new thing, at least for the compatibility stakes or speeds and such. But anyways, powering this for the memory sticks, if you see there's 4 empty slots, I am actually occupying all of them right now currently. So first, I am running 2 sets of memory sticks. Please, if you're building a new PC and if you need to occupy all of them, please don't do this. Because obviously, this could run into many different issues, but I made sure that these RAMs are basically compatible with each other most of the time. At least that's what I'm thinking at least. So, we have the EVGA Superclock DDR3 series. This is 1600 megahertz speeds. It does have, it's basically a latency of you have latency of basically 9924 and then a voltage of 1.5. It's very useful. It's not going to be anything like, it's not going to kill me or anything. It's not like going to have if you have 1866 or higher, obviously you'll do better speeds in some of the games and such. But 1600 speeds fine with me. Not really much I can say about that. And I have 8 gigs of that one for now. And then now I also have 8 gigs of the HyperX Beast memory given to me by my older brother. Now he gave me these ones because he upgraded his system as well. So he gave me 8 gigs. It's basically the same thing as the EVGA one. I think I made sure that the cache latencies are pretty much identical. I think it said 9923 or something like that. So it's not completely the same, but it's definitely close enough to the point where running it at both at 1600 megahertz speeds hasn't really caused a problem. If I go over that, maybe to 1866 speeds, then no, it will cause a problem. But right now, it's not. Power supply. I'm running a Roswell Hive 650 watt power supply. This is bronze rated. It is modular power. It is a modular power supply, and it's basically been serving me well. I mean, I haven't had that much issues with this power supply. Cable length has been an issue in one of my previous cases, but this one not as bad. Obviously, it kept all the cases. My color scheme used to be blue and black, or it used to be or it's pretty much just blue and black, but the red PCI cables have been an issue for. You can't tape it, you can't color it or anything like that. So I bought PCI extension cables pretty much, so it looks like it's all black inside the case. But if you look down at the bottom of my case, you can actually see that the red pretty much peeking out if you wanted to think about it that way. But I've been running this for how long? I've been running this. I've been running this for basically I bought it at the end of 2014, so almost 2 years, basically almost 2 years worth of running right now, almost 3 years actually. So it's actually a good power supply. I think if I'm gonna buy another power supply, I would get maybe 750 or something now, or get 80. I get a higher rating of 80 plus bronze or higher, pretty much. So maybe silver, platinum, gold, one of those at least. Onto the hard drives. Oh, actually, solid state drives. Running my primary OS on the Windows 10 side, I have the Crucial MX100 128 gig SATA SSD. I can't really explain how good this drive is. Honestly, it's been pretty much. I bought this in September of 2014, and it's pretty much been good. I haven't had many issues with it. Obviously capacity is being an issue because I've been keep installing random things all the time, so it's pretty much almost maxed out. I need to make sure that obviously it needs to be replaced, or not really replaced, but delete the file so it keeps still having space to move and such. But that's running my Windows 10 drive, and it's running it well pretty much. Now I do have another SSD. I actually have an ADATA Premier SP550 drive. This one is for my Macintosh OS. I actually have a Mac OS X Sierra running on it right now, and it's running fine. I haven't really done much on it yet, so I need to. Well, I'm gonna start doing maybe more videos on the Mac OS X side. Maybe stream on that one, maybe, but probably not because it's only one drive. For storage, I basically have two drives currently instead of having three that I originally had. What I still have right now is a WD Blue 1TB drive, 72 RPM, SATA 6 gigabits per second. Standard drive, still very good. Still 1TB. I guess is one of the current drives, or one of the newer ones compared to the storage ones I have, but. Still good. I put all my other stuff on here, not like Steam games or anything. I put my other stuff in it. My Steam games are actually on a different drive where I bought currently over the summertime. I bought it for $30. It's a 2TB Hitachi UltraStar 7K 3000. It is a used drive. I'll give it. It actually, when I bought this one, it says manufactured refurbished, but it is actually from a server drive. So originally, when I bought this drive, it actually had maybe, according to Crystal Disk Info, according to VC here in the corner, I have here power on count was maybe 22 or something. So it was been running on basically what they called it is that it runs on a server. Because when I looked at it, it had a power on count of 22, and then power on hours was 22,000 hours. So having that one as a drive is basically something from a server. So it's been running 24/7 pretty much for a duration of long hours already. But the power on count was so low that the drive is still good. I mean, you can't really explain anything else bad to it. I don't put anything volatile on here. I put all my. Even if if I had volatile stuff on it, I would have basically anything from documents and other things will be on the other drive, on the 1TB. So if I did, I would have any backups on other previous drives. I would have it on the cloud, other things like that. The only thing I think I would want to move is my completed videos, my video edited videos and such that I make, like something like this. But for right now, it's okay. I can't say anything bad about it. It's not really going to be, it shouldn't be anything good. I still have warranty on it until February, so if anything still goes off until then, I can get a replacement, so I'll be alright with this, at least. Steam games, you can always, Steam and all those other places where you download all these PC games and such, you can re-download, so I'm not worried about it at all. Now, for the crux of this build, especially for me, is the GPU. The GeForce GTX Titan, first generation. Given to me by my brother because I hated playing on the GTX 770 where I couldn't even play Doom on it. That's when my brother gave me this one as well. He upgraded to a... I don't remember what GPU he upgraded to, but he gave me this one. This is just this was the GPU king of 1080p, and it still is, in my opinion, for what the games that I'm running it at. But it still is. I'm still running it at I still have a 1080p monitor. I'm pretty much running it at 1080p. I'm maxing out pretty much most games. Gears of War 4 at the Ultra preset runs well on this on my system, and that's just awesome as it is. Now the cooler you see here is actually the stock cooler, but I actually have the ACX version of mine. So this is the PC that I was telling you about. Not that picture. This one here is what it is. I actually have the ACX cooler, so it is a bit better than the stock cooler. It is still very loud. This is one of the GPUs that I actually have coil whine actually going through here sometimes, especially during the times where, right immediately after I'm playing a game and it turns off, like if it unexpectedly closes, that's when it starts to coil whine because it's running it through so many different FPS going through it at least. Maybe I've seen it. I think the coil whine starts like around 120, 144 FPS or something like that. So then I mean, it's like my first time with a coil whine GPU. I mean, you can't obviously fix it, but it's good enough for me. Can't say anything bad about it. I like it, so good enough. I'm actually running it as well on the GPU side of things on the MSI. I'm actually running it at a good overclock settings. I did run a custom BIOS on this, but that's for a later. That's gonna be for like a later video of how I explain how I overclocked it, how I do some other things. But this is the general purpose overclock I have on it. Just a minor bump, not really much of it. I need to make sure that my GPU is under a certain amount of load and such, or temperature range. I think the highest I've seen it is like 78 degrees, and that's in Gears of War 4 as well. So I haven't seen anything higher than that. So I think we'll be all right for at least those kind of things. Okay, so all of this is encompassed in one particular case, and the new case that I have for this year, and hopefully I'm not going to change this for a while this time, is a Thermaltake Core V21. It's a Micro ATX Cube chassis this time. It's a new one for me. It's a new case for me. I like it. It's definitely something useful for me, especially I can now have my first window on it right now. Obviously, I have it on the side, but on my PC, it's actually on the top, so every time I look down at the PC, pretty much, or look onto the side, I can view in from the top instead of looking at on the side like a normal PC would be. Now, what I like about this case is all the cable management is indeed at the bottom where the hard drive cages are, but you have to make sure that you have it that there's a lip here in the top here. If you look where my mouse cursor is right now, you see here there's an actual lip that you need to make sure that all the cables are actually under it, because there's a big gap on the right here if you notice here, because it needs to be air cooled, it needs to have some cooling space and such like that, because this place is meant for water cooling and such. So you could do a lot of additional water cooling if you indeed do so for your CPU or your GPU, if you wanted to at least. Now, something I noticed is that you can actually stack these cubes together. So you can actually have like two different PCs stacked on one on top of each other, and even expand it that way if you so desire. The tray itself the hard drive trays are nice. I'm only occupying the top one and the bottom one. Now, I noticed, especially in other cases, is if you occupy all three of them, sometimes the temperatures, especially the heat of the hard drives, can get trapped in between those two. So you gotta make sure all of that's all together. You gotta make sure it's not like it's gonna be really bad or anything like that. So I like it. It's good. Make sure the temperatures are good. The fan configuration, I don't have anything at the top, obviously, because I have a window, so I can't put anything on there. The sides, I don't have anything. The only thing I have here is the stock 200mm fan, which you can't really see in the front, but there's a 200mm fan behind this grill and such. And then I have these fans, the Corsair SP120 High Performance Editions. Now, these ones, I do have the PWM version, and I have one of them on my processor cooler, and you can see it here. Now, this one here is just basically it's pushing the air that's coming that is grabbing it from the front of the case, and then exhausting out the back with another SP120. So I like these fans. I obviously wanted the lower voltage and the quiet edition ones, but I am running the lower. There's an adapter, a voltage adapter that pretty much makes it lower, so I'm not running it at the max RPM pretty much per se, but it's very useful for the fans. Temperatures I think I got, at least on the CPU, like I said before, was like maybe at max 60 degrees, even lower than that. And then GPU, obviously, I've gone lower than 80 degrees, around the 75 I'm averaging most of the time, so it's very good. I like it. Now, that was the crux of my build. That was, the new system. That was the stuff I had in there. Let's go over to some peripherals. Now, some of these have not changed. Only two of them did indeed are new upgrades for what I've had. Still powering my mouse, especially for very good comfort, is the SteelSeries Ikari mouse. This is the laser edition of the mouse, so it's not the best calibration tool. It's not the best calibrated mouse. I think the optical version that they have of this one is the best sensor out of it. So between that one and the laser, obviously you can't really do much of a difference of it. I like it. Still the best comfort I had in a mouse. I still can't find a mouse to this day that beats out the comfort of this one. And everything's been fading on my mouse. It's like it's all old, it's crusty, it's starting to get some like dead skin scales that I need to clean off and such. So I don't want to say I need to replace it, but I probably need to clean it. If I do get a new mouse, I need to get something similar. So my Onyx, I think, will be like my next mouse, because honestly, that one has like the comfort level of the next, like the updated version of it, if you really want to consider that. So for the keyboard, that's the one I changed the most. Also given to me by my brother, who thought it was broken because the spacebar. He thought the spacebar was broken, but I fixed it. I did a cleanup on the keyboard, and it's very good. So I have here the DAS Keyboard 4. It's the professional edition, not the ultimate. It's basically a better version of the Cooler Master Quickfire Rapid that I had before. Now, the Rapid was a 10 keyless board, and I actually liked it for its portability and size, but I noticed in a lot of newer games, especially like in GTA 5 and some other games where I was playing, I needed the number pad now. I needed the number pad for like flying some of the flights. In Arma, as an example, or Arma 3, Arma 2, and all this, especially also in DayZ, if you play DayZ as well, the number pad's very crucial for you to use as well. So, I like this keyboard. I really do like it. I put the O-ring dampeners on it too, because it is still an MX Blue switch, so I still like. So mechanical keyboard's still nice. Has USB pass-throughs in the front here as well, so if I needed to use it, I can plug those in as well. What else can I say? That's good. That's all the good board in it. I think my next upgrade, is going to be the Logitech webcam. So what you see in the webcam currently right now is my Logitech C270. This is gonna be the next generation This is gonna be my upgrade. That's gonna be my next upgrade to do. I think I'll go as a C920, something similar. I don't know. Haven't decided yet, but still a very good webcam for what it does. Haven't really changed anything quality wise, so I think I'll be all right with it. And then finally, I got this for Christmas last year now, because it's considered last year. I got myself a Blue Yeti USB microphone. Obviously, a very popular microphone. I still have my Samsung Q2U microphone. I haven't really figured out, like, comparison wise, which one's better yet, because using the settings between the two of them, my first impressions are they're both the same. Honestly, I feel like that's pretty much what I'm getting at here, but I don't know. I have to do some further testing on it. Still one of my best thing. Still one of the, I guess, a good upgrade in my opinion, honestly. But I haven't figured that out yet. I need to do more testing though. And with that ends my first video 2017. This was What's in My PC 2017 edition. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like if you liked it. Dislike if you disliked it. Leave a comment. It's up to you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.